Building revision into a course isn't always the easiest thing for busy faculty, but having students bring work in stages is immensely helpful for their development as writers. This in-class exercise supports writing at virtually any stage of drafting and helps students to identify what the markers of strong writing are amongst themselves. Read-around groups are based on the idea that faculty often know the markers of successful writing, in part due to the volume that we read and grade. Students, on the other hand, may only read one other student paper during the time that they are writing. Peer review is a great support for helping students think about their own work. This exercise simply increases the volume and speed of peer review in class with some powerful results. In order to prepare for the lesson, you will need to have a few things: a whiteboard and a marker, a timer, and small slips of paper to allow students to record their choices. You will also need to have each student bring in a particular piece of writing to class. Be sure they print out their work, which ought to be short. An introduction, body paragraph, abstract, there are any number of parts they could bring in. Be sure it's anonymous as well. Not having names helps students get past identifying friends and being more or less complimentary about the work. To begin, collect all the papers at the start of class and write numbers on them. Again, you don't need to know who wrote what, just that the papers are identified with numbers. Before starting the read-around group session, have a brief discussion where you identify what strong writing in that section should look like. What are the markers of a good introduction, thesis, context paragraph, result section? As students provide answers, help to frame their answers and write them up on the board. Put students into small groups of 3 to 4. Distribute the papers along with the slips of paper. Instruct the students that they will read for 30 seconds, or however long it will take them to get through this section of writing in a reasonable amount of time. At the end of the 30 seconds, they will rotate papers within the group. Rotate however many times necessary for each group member to read all the papers, about 2 to 3 minutes. At the end of the section, have the students discuss which paper is best and record the answer on the slip of paper. Have students then swap the groups of papers, continuing the exercise until every student has read every paper. They should have the entire slip of paper filled out. On the board, create a list of the possible paper numbers. Ask each group to share which papers from each round they thought were the best, and keep a tally of which ones emerge as the strongest papers. Upon collecting the numbers, ask students what was successful about the particular papers that emerge as leaders. Why did they work? What was good about them? Make connections back to the original criteria that your class identified. In this regard, students can get the sense of what strong or weak writing means in the context of your specific course and expectations. This read-around groups exercise is a great opportunity to have students start working ahead, as well as redirect any problems that they may be having without intensive one-on-one conferencing or correction on the instructor's part. Students get to see their work develop in stages with good global feedback. It also helps them see the extent to which errors in prose can interfere with a teacher's ability to understand the intentions of a student writer. Read-around groups are a great way to help students be accountable for their writing over the course of the semester. It's also a nice way to switch up the usual peer review routine.